switch, you're the worst. What the hell was we thinking? Compromise for no reason. Cause we ain't got shit in common. But why I gotta fight for nothing? What the hell?
Welcome everyone to another episode of
Bullet Barbies.
Yeah. So today, we're gonna get into some things mostly about safety for women. It's the year 2023. If you've been living under a rock, and we really need to pay more attention to safety for young ladies, women, females.
Yeah.
And I think that fuck it, we're gonna edit that part.
No.
All right. So
Speaking of safety, after that, we're gonna just keep it all the way raw. Now, speaking of safety, those who are not really into firearms, even though you're still gonna watch this full video, put a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We have the Bullet Barbie home knife, which is on my website, bulletbarbies.com, and it is hidden. You can get through security with it. I tried it. It's only $20. Now, when it comes to shipping, like $4.99. So, yeah, get you one.
Yeah, so like I said, we're going to talk about safety for ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, you have to take your safety serious. I mean, you don't always have to have someone protecting you. You can protect yourself, even though when you are with someone that is a protector, you can leave your safety in their hands, especially if you trust them. But as far as, those times when you're alone and you're by yourself and, you want to be safe as possible. And if you don't like firearms, that's fine. You can go to bulletbarbies.com. You can get this comb. It's very, very discreet. It's something that doesn't look like it's something you can use to protect yourself, but you can absolutely protect yourself with that. Sometimes that mace ain't enough. You mace some motherfucker and then he get charged up. This could do a little bit more in the department of protecting yourself.
Yeah.
So definitely hit up bulletbarbies.com.
Now, I like what you said, leaving someone, basically putting your faith into someone for your safety. That sounds a little silly to me. I understand that life can sometimes feel like a dream and things may not or ever happen to you, especially if nothing ever happened to you. But look at today's times. Like, you can accidentally just scroll up on TikTok or Instagram and see something major has happened to someone. Like that girl who went on a girls' trip with her friends and she wound up killed.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
She was jumped and later on she died.
Yeah.
And I understand, that could never happen to you, but I mean, a lot of us have friends who go on a girls' trip. I have. I'm pretty sure you have. You went on a guy's trip or something like that, and you never suspect my friend would do this to me because she didn't think that. She didn't think that she would wind up dead after the trip. No one wants that. And always staying ready so you don't have to get ready is my favorite motto.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I don't think that you could ever stop getting ready. Always be ready. Anything that you can do that's gonna make you a little bit more prepared for whatever situation you're in, that's the thing you should do. So yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And yes, when it comes to your safety, you want to be the main contributor when it comes to that. So that makes 100% perfect sense.
Right. So speaking of safety, when it comes to that, it's education. It's educating yourself. Like just watching simple videos, like even like mine. Like I'm not saying like you must watch it, but just like any other tutorial, like when it comes to makeup reviews, like you're gonna watch that. You're gonna pay attention because you want to educate yourself because it benefits you. You know what I'm saying? So like teaching yourself just the basics of handling a firearm and what to do in case, and God forbid, that you ever have to use one in an emergency. At least you're educated. You're not afraid. It you know what I'm saying? Like it stops that fear of like, what if? You know what I mean? Like I feel better when I have my firearm and I'm going out. Yeah. But I feel like I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, you know?
Yeah.
100%, you know, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you don't want to be in a situation where you like, I wish. Fuck that. You
Yeah.
don't want to be wishing.
Especially with all these mass shootings. You know what I always think? Like, I would go to a grocery store. I'm like, what if something popped off today? Well, I got something.
Yeah.
I can protect myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're going, like, dropping off your kids to school. Like,
that's a major one.
Whew.
That's a major one.
Yeah, and it's sensitive. It's sensitive. It's sad. You know, having to think about like what if, you know, because I'm not waiting for an officer, and I'm glad that there is officers, but still, I'm not waiting for them to protect my child because if anything were to pop off, no, I'm jumping in.
Yeah, no, that's a major one. That's a major one because imagine going to your kid's school to pick them up, right? Mm-hmm. And you find out there's a active shooter at your child's school, and you're like, what could I do? Mm-hmm. There's not much you could do if you don't have a firearm because they're inside the school with the firearm. Right. You can't do anything. What are you going to do? You know, you need something that's going to be able to combat whatever it is they got going on. Mm-hmm. And in this case would be a firearm. Mm-hmm. You know, only thing that I think could stop a bad guy with a firearm is a good guy with a firearm. So you're going to pick up your kid from school. It would be good for you to have that because if you get an active shooter, you may be able to do something to help.
Do you remember the shooting at the mall with the 23-year-old who had a girlfriend who's a nurse and he was able to shoot from like 45 yards?
Dickens. Yeah. It was the guy.
That Dickens drill, that comes with training. That's not you just picking up a firearm and just shooting and having amazing luck.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the range is really created for. It's to keep on with practice. This is not just, it's not some hobby or some hunting game or anything like that for some people, but this is to practice in case if you ever have to use it, even though we don't want to. And a lot of officers would say that, like, yes, we may have it on us, but we do not want to have to use it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It just goes back to that model of like, you know, staying ready so you don't have to get ready, you know?
Yeah. And what's that guy's name? Like, I know his last name is Dickens, but what's his first name? Do we?
I don't know.
Well, we'll just refer to him as Dickens. You can look up Dickens drill, but the reason why I like the Dickens drill and the situation that happened is because you had a person that was prepared for the situation. He didn't say, you know, one day someone might shoot up a mall and I want to be ready for that. But he trained, he went to the range, I'm pretty sure he trained for it, and he was ready. And he saved a couple people's lives.
Yeah. Eli Dickens.
Eli Dickens, we like this guy because shout out to Eli Dickens because
10 rounds in 15 seconds for 40 yards.
10 rounds in 15 seconds, and he took out an active shooter, and that saved. We don't know how many people's lives he saved, but he saved some people's lives. He was in a mall. Malls. I don't know any other places.
And look at that. His girlfriend was a nurse.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like the most perfect parent.
Yeah, like what do you mean, like a nurse and a shooter? just
like,
in case.
Like in case I leave a hole, you can bandage it up.
Yeah, type of shit, you know. And that's we want to take that for a good example because you know you don't never know what in this day and age, you know, people mental health is a very important thing, but it doesn't seem that people are giving it the attention that it needs. So since that's not happening, we need to be very on point and prepared for anything that could happen so that we could correct it. You know, we want to be prepared. It doesn't matter where it is, a school, a mall, you know, any place, a supermarket. Was it a situation happened at Walmart? Mm-hmm. You know, you could be shopping. You're just like, hey, I'm just going to go pick up some T-shirts today. And then next thing you know, you hear some shots. You're like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
You don't want, if not to stop the person, you know, you don't have to be the hero.
Right.
But at least protect yourself. Protect your family.
Not having to like run wild and shots going everywhere and you're somehow like in the middle of that and you accidentally wind up getting shot. Like probably staying in a certain area away from it.
Yeah.
You know, hiding, like being your best bet. You don't always have to be the hero.
You don't have to be the hero.
Right.
But you don't want to be the victim.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
You don't want to be the victim. So, if you don't want to be the victim, the best thing to do is be prepared and have the tools that you need to get the job done.
Speaking of tools, like I think of being out in the wilderness. You ever seen the show Survivor on Netflix?
Survivor, that's the one where people go out into the wilderness and they have like a minimal amount of things and they got to figure it out.
Yeah, I love shows like that. And I think about, what if one day, just again, these are just God forbid moments, like a plane crashed into the waters, you know what I'm saying, and having to figure it out from there, swim to shore, and being the only person, or even just a few people with you, and having to survive with just nature.
Yeah.
Do we know how to do that? Like, do we know how to survive in nature? Like, just learning how to make fire, and knowing which foods to eat, and how to boil water, how to clean the water, things like that. I feel like are also important, which ties back into like the firearm of survival. And I think of that nurse, the shooter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, knowing that this comes with this. And if I'm gonna be able to be proficient in firearms, I need to at least learn how to bandage myself up, learn how to use a tourniquet, having insurance on my firearm, things like that for worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think that is definitely something that we should also don't just know how to shoot, and also I think you should be proficient with using a tourniquet, because that could save your life or could save your loved one's life, could save someone's life that you encounter in a situation. So yeah, that's definitely, I'm glad you brought that up. That is a very important factor when it comes to safety, because in the event that it goes past the point where you stop the situation from happening and the situation happens, you could at least make sure that you could stop your blood loss so that you can make it to the hospital and save your life or someone that you care about life,
Right. We may not be a doctor out here, but to prevent us from dying, which is the goal, is the point. Having just that, because you see, like, for instance, in movies where you see the person bleeding out and the person's like, oh my gosh, and they're just screaming and they're just looking at the person, you're like, well, I would put pressure on that right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If only that person knew how to use a tourniquet, so that when the ambulance had arrived, at least that person would have been saved instead of you crying
It's
out like,
complicated.
Oh God, why? You gotta stop looking at it like,
I can't stand to be around you. I'm in it more. Oh, what a bore. I'm probably jaded. But why we gotta go in circles to feel the vibe? Why we try? You don't like my friends, I don't like yours, and I really hate your favorite shirt. Why are we lying? It's not time.